Today's voiceover talent is more than just a pretty voice. Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss, a VO boss. Set yourself up with business owner strategies and success with your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss.
Hey guys, it's Gabby. Before we get started on today's show, we want to tell you a little bit about all the ways that you can live the boss life.
We have a brand new product in our boss shop called Book Out Build.
This is how I communicate with my clients every single month to make sure that I'm providing them with relevant information that they can actually use, and so that I'm not just, spamming them or sending them something really annoying, right? Because we all have to worry about that.
You can do this on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. What's really cool is that we incorporate your own list and we manage it and send out the marketing blasts on your behalf, all in your own brand.
You want to go to voboss.com, click on shop, and go check out the Book Out Build and Book Out Blast features.
Okay, now let's get on with today's episode. Welcome, everybody, to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with my VO Boss bestie, Gabby Nistico. Hey, Gabby.
Hello.
Gabby, I am always so excited when we have a super special boss guest on. And today we have an amazing, amazing lady boss. Welcome to the show, Simone Fojgiel.
Hola.
Yay! Simone, finally, we were able to get you on for a show. You are one busy lady.
Yes, like you girls.
Any day that you're busy.
Any day.
I always say
any hour.
I always say it's a good day if you own your own business, for sure.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Right?
I've known you for quite some time now, quite a few years. I mean, I'm trying to think, at least 6 years or so, right? Or so. And I think Gabby as well, right? We've known you for a long time.
Oh my gosh, longer than that.
Right? And I'll tell you, I am a fangirl. Having watched you over the years just evolve into this powerhouse in the VO community, in the Spanish community, just in general. So for those listeners that may or may not be familiar with your history, tell us a little bit about your entry into voiceover and how you've come to evolve to be this lady boss of the day.
It was through music. Music is my real passion, actually. I was playing live on a pub with the keyboards. I play keyboards since I was 4 by ear, and someone discovered me from a very well-known FM station in Montevideo. That's the city where I was born, and he invited me to go to the station to do some pilots, and of course it was horrible. But I realized that radio was much more beautiful than I expected from the inside part. To make the story short, I ended up recording a song for a radio show that I was a big fan of on another station, and the owner of that station bought the rights, the copyrights of that song, so they could play it every single day for that show. They loved the song, and they invited me to do some other pilots. Like we say in Spanish, la tercera es la vencida. That means you try to the third time, and that is the very last one, right?
Third
that
time
you
is
try.
a charm. Yep.
A professor at the university that I was attended studying social and mass communications discovered me, and he told me that I should visit this station that it was going to be a brand new station in the country, and he referred me to the owner, and I did pilots for about 3-4 months until I was ready. Of course, I wasn't ready. I was a disaster. And that's how I started being a live host, presenting my favorite music, and I needed to record commercials as well. And I was very lucky because I was surrounded by people who really knew a lot about voiceover and radio broadcasting. Even though I quit my role at the station back in 2005, I still keep a wonderful, wonderful relationship with the company. Just to give you an idea, a couple of days ago, I spoke with the owner of the station for about an hour and a half. Every time I fly to Uruguay, I go there to visit them, and we have lunch together. And the radio as a media means a lot to me. I am a big lover of radio broadcasting. And the fact that I could combine both music with mass media, with my studies and everything, helped me a lot to build a very good musical ear for voiceovers. I learned everything by myself, by ear, everything. How to play the piano, how to sing, how to do voiceovers. So I thank God every day for this particular gift he gave me.
So as a kid, this must have been really everything for you, was literally
Everything.
Just hearing and repeating and doing. So when it came to learn English, was it the same process for you?
Yes, my parents were very visionaries, and they told me, you need to learn how to speak English. And I realized, of course, that they were so right, because the younger you are, the most moldable, the easier it is for you to learn new skills. And I started learning English when I was 7. And I was even an exchange student here in the States for a year. And that helped me a lot because the English that I learned was the British one. So, instead of saying eraser at high school, when I was an exchange student back in the time in Massachusetts and then in New York, instead of eraser, I said rubber. And I had a lot of problems.
Oh, that must have been fun in high school.
Yeah. Kids are so forgiving.
Aren't they?
But that helped me a lot, to land into a brand new dimension about the language. And definitely it opened me a lot of doors for my profession. Just to give you an idea, when I was working at this FM station in Uruguay, Océano FM, Ocean FM, I was very lucky to be the person assigned to cover concerts. So when James Taylor came to Uruguay, I was the one who spent most of the time with him. I was like his shadow, and even went to the port because he was going to Buenos Aires afterwards, and I went to the port especially to say goodbye to him. And he even gave me his phone number, and I ended up calling him.
Wow. Now that's impressive. And then what happened? No.
Nothing.
No, that's fantastic.
He knew I was going to New York 2 months after we met, and he gave me his phone number in case I would like to make an interview. Anyhow, English opened me many, many doors, both for covering events like this and also to build my global career. And that is something that I keep on telling all voice actors from Latin America and Spain to my students. If you don't speak and write English properly, you're going to be stuck, because English is the language of business. And that's the way it is, like it or not. And if you want to succeed, no matter if you're 50, no matter if you're 30, no matter if you're 25, you need to learn how to speak English. You need to know how to negotiate in the same terms, and in this, and getting and really understand what you are negotiating, what you are proposing, and what you are able to give you,
That's an excellent point, Simone. And I don't think it's something that people think of right off the bat when they're talking about, voiceover as a full-time career. That's super important. And so I assume that was one of your biggest challenges.
I started working as a global voiceover actor since 2004, back in the time when Voice 123 was really new.
A
when
sparkle in somebody's eye. Yeah.
Yeah, so that gives you an idea how all this whole global vision of my career started. And I was the first one in Uruguay to move forward to this vision of my career. Nobody did it before. I was the first one, and I feel very proud of that. And this is not because I was the visionary. It was a very dear friend of mine who lives in Spain right now, and she's an engineer in communications. And she told me, this is your future, and you'd better pay attention to this and investigate more about this, because this is going to define your future as a voice actress. And she was absolutely right. And I keep on thanking her all the time for opening my eyes. because otherwise I don't know where I would be today.
Simone, I mean, in my observation of your progressing in this industry so amazingly, you've never closed your eyes. You are always so out there and proud and standing up and foraging forward. I really truly think you're one of the pioneers.
Well, you are too. I think that women are creating a very big revolution in our industry. And I feel so proud also of having seen you girls evolving and growing. I know you both from other stages in your life, in your careers, and I can say that you are really good visionaries. And it's wonderful. What a beautiful community, a female community we have been building these past 5 years. I could see a lot of evolving in the way you have defined your careers. And like it or not, girls, we are living in a world of hyper-segmentation. And the more hyper-segmented you are in the kind of product you offer, in the kind of voiceover you offer, the better position you're going to be. It's old, that idea of the voice actor who does everything that he does or that she does is perfect, that you excel in every single format. That doesn't exist anymore. You'd better excel in one little thing, and that you are the number one person by doing so. And that is something that I learned by attending conferences with you. By joining conferences together as attendees and then as presenters, right?
I have to say one thing that I've noticed, and I agree with you completely. Events like Voxy Summit, which we were all at this year, make this huge difference in the impact and the momentum that women are making in this industry. But Simone, one of the things that I have noticed about you over the last couple of years is that you're at a place now in your career where you're an influencer, you are a coach, you are sought out by other Spanish-speaking voice actors for advice, for consulting, for just, in some cases, just inspiration. But yet, I see you attending some of the workshops, some of the events with the same admiration, with the same eyes open approach that someone who's brand new might have. And I think that that's remarkable because it speaks to you. It speaks to your character that you go, I can always learn something. Yeah, there's always something to glean. Yeah.
It's brilliant, really. It's Gabby. What a great point. It is brilliant.
Thank you. And I think that you always need to be humble in this industry because you never know. Sometimes your student ends up being your master. It's a cosmic law. You can never forget where you're coming from. You can never forget those who have helped you along the way. That's a mantra that I have, And you always need to feel and to be surrounded by people who know much more than you. I think that I've been going through also, Gabby, through a huge spiritual path over these past years after touching bottom in my career when I felt that there was nothing else that I could give. I was very bored about being just a voice actress. Wow. I thought that I had a lot more to give, but I didn't know how. So I needed to, like you, reinvent myself. And isn't that amazing that you realize that the more you give to the world, the more you receive? That's another cosmic law, divine law. And through coaching, through mentoring, through creating the Spanish program back in the time at VO Atlanta for 3 consecutive years, I received, multiplied by 10,000, what I originally imagined, and also Latin American voice actors come from a very different culture, and that is something that I learned from you American and Canadian voice actors, that you need to share. You need to be generous. You cannot keep the information just for yourself because, you know what? Not only you are going to be affected by that at the end, but you're going to hurt your entire community. So why is the U.S. voiceover community grows and grows and grows and it's unstoppable? Because you share, because you create events where you can give, where you can listen to other people, where you can nurture yourself, not only in terms of your profession, but also as a human being, as a woman, as a humble person who has a lot to learn and a lot to listen to and a lot to say. So I try to translate that into my activity. And I feel so full and so blessed by being a coach, by helping others, no matter how poor their countries are or how limited their possibilities are. That's why I created my courses, and also that's why I created my Spanish demo production company with another wonderful person who is very well tuned with my spiritual path, which is Antonio Fornaris.
Mm-hmm. I love him. I see him on social media all the time, and somehow we've become friends, and we share jokes back and forth now. Mm-hmm. He's such a great spirit and sense of humor.
Oh, yes.
We make a great team, and we're helping voice actors who, believe me, don't have the same opportunities as we have here in the States to be well known. Last year, for instance, there was two of our voice actors who hired us for producing their demos in the commercial voiceover demo category. They both won. And it was very unusual.
I want to emphasize that you won a number of awards last year. 5?
5 in the same category, mm-hmm. and four of them were just ours.
Fantastic.
And two of them, 2 won. But what I'm trying to do is to help our Spanish voiceover community to be on another level. So people don't see us as the cheap ones, mm-hmm. those improvised people. No, we are doing a lot, and I want to contribute in order to change the order, to create a new order of how things are in the Spanish voiceover community, and tell the world, hey, we are doing wonderful things too. We are studying. We are preparing ourselves. We want to compete with the same conditions compared to our American colleagues. That is something that I want to do from now on. To be someone who contributes not for her ego, but for the world. Well, for helping others to achieve their dreams.
I think you're truly helping to elevate the entire voiceover community and Spanish voiceover community. You're right, so that everybody can compete on the same playing level. And I think that mm-hmm. that is so important. It's such an important role, and you're a pioneer in that. And I thank you for that. On behalf of the community, on behalf of being a woman, for you really having that belief and moving forward with it. That's just a fantastic thing. Thank you, Simone.
Oh, thank you, girls. Thank you so much. And thank you for your wonderful work. Thank you for helping us to achieve our dreams too. And the more connected we are, and the more generous we become, and the more giving we become, the higher the spiritual tune we're going to be. That's the only way things can happen, by uniting our souls, our visions, our experiences, so we can all land into a better place. No matter our race, no matter our language, no matter our origins, when you are tuning love, that's the way good things happen.
Simone, that is without a doubt the most beautiful thing anyone has ever articulated on this podcast.
And what else is there?
A natural English speaker, so...
I love that.
That was just beautiful. Anne, I don't know if we can add or contribute
I don't think we can.
To that.
This is just a beautiful podcast. And Simone, I just want to thank you for taking the time to share all of this wonderful sentiment and advice with us and the rest of the voiceover community. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, girls. And I am a true believer that our voice can heal. I'm really convinced that through our voice, as it happens with music, we can create a better world. And that's my mantra too. I want to help this world to be a better place where to live through my voice. I'm not the star here. I am just a channel. I'm just an excuse.
Yep.
And I want that excuse to be as beautiful as possible in order to create a better world where we can all live.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
God bless you both.
Thank you. Simone, how can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more?
My website is simonevoicetalent.com, SIMONE, voicetalent.com, and my email is info@simonevoicetalent.com. ipdtl.com.
Well, I'd like to give a big shout out to our amazing sponsor, IPDTL. You too can record like a boss and find out more at ipdtl.com.
And of course, for all things Boss, you can find us on all of the social media outlets and our website, voboss.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeart, and Spotify.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your hosts, Anne Ganguzza and Gabby Nisterko. All rights reserved. Anne Ganguzza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.